Good morning, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. Today, Connor and I are putting in some paddocks, and the cattle will be here in about 2 days. We'll be making a cattle drive down the road, and it's been probably close to 60 days since we've been here, around 50 to 60 days. We've had some really nice, timely rains, and as you can see, we've grown a ton of grass out here. We've got the first paddock in, so Connor and I came here and put a hot wire around this pond. We don't want the cows in that pond. And we do have a tire tank down below the pond. I may walk over and show that too when we get done here. But years ago, we had this pond built. I kind of like shade when I'm going fishing and things. And I just like trees kind of around the pond. Some people don't, but I do. We planted bald cypress, which is this one, and then there's the cottonwood, and we got a few volunteer persimmon trees right here. Of course, the willows. You're gonna have willows when you build a pond, but I think it just adds kind of a beautification to me to the pond, a more of a natural setting. And so anyway, Connor and I put this first paddock in, and we're using O'Brien step-in post and the Terragate reels, and this is our fencing setup. So Connor, where do you set the reel at?
So when you're I'll actually put a reel in there.
Okay.
So when we're going, you just set the handle right in here.
Okay.
And this actually screws open so that you can slide this in and out, so that way it's not like all the way out here while you're driving around most of the time. And then when we're setting up, you just drive with the four-wheeler and you make sure this lock right here is up, because if you don't put that up, you're gonna snag and probably break your reel. So as you drive, the line just comes out, and then you have somebody behind stepping in the post and hooking it up. So
okay. So what kind of hookup are you gonna do here? I don't see any place to hang that reel. All we have is poly braid. What are you gonna do?
So we're gonna take a pigtail.
Okay. Yep.
And then you take the open end, slide it underneath, and I got to be real careful because this fence is super hot, so you don't want to touch. Sometimes they'll have like metal here.
Yep.
Definitely, if you're touching this metal piece, you do not want to touch that to the wire. So you just slide it in right there.
Well, you're being awful cautious there.
I know. 10 kV doesn't feel very good. So then you just step it in right here.
Okay.
So you've got the pigtail on.
All right.
Then we'll take a step-in post. We go on the second clip to the top.
All right.
Slide it right on.
Wait a minute. What'd you do there?
So I just slide it in and then twist.
Okay.
Okay. Then I'm gonna bend this post.
Now, why you bending that?
So when I put it in the ground, there'll be tension on it, but it'll go straight, so that it's not like.
Ah, there you go. You took the bend out of it.
So, but that way, if there's a pull on this, it pulls against that
You're
post.
telling me that that's going to be your corner post for holding back 350 head of cattle?
Yes, sir.
No way.
It works.
Okay, I'll trust you. I trust you.
So
okay.
Then we take this reel, and I got to be really careful because this is a really good way to get shot. So you tighten it up. I like to pull out a decent amount of slack over the wire, so that
without touching the wire.
Without touching it, so that I know I got enough to wrap it.
Okay.
Then I come up, I wrap it.
What are you wrapping it on?
3 times on the metal
hook
of the reel.
Okay.
So that it'll make this whole thing conductive.
So when you set that on that power source, you got to be really careful.
Careful.
Don't touch any of that metal.
The only thing you can touch is the handle, the outside of the reel, and this.
Okay.
And that's all you got. So it can be a little like precarious on here, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it so that it circles a couple times.
Okay.
And then I'm going to hang this hook right on the edge.
Wow,
here.
I want to see this.
So
now, Connor, you're on candid camera. You don't want to get shocked.
I might. So I didn't pull enough slack. I'm going to get a little bit more.
Oh, you got it. You got it started. Yep.
So then you got to be real careful.
Okay.
Coming around here.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can hear that popping, but it's popping.
Ooh.
And then you just hook it right on there.
Wow. Well, your hand's awful close to that metal.
Set it there.
Okay.
So, and then sometimes if there's too much line on it or it hangs down too far, this wire will touch the metal on the pigtail. And so what we do for that is we just take another step in, pull this up, and then put a step in right there.
Why don't you show them that? Because
Yeah.
it is awful close. So what you're doing there, Connor, is you're just adding a little insulation factor.
Right, just making sure it insulates. You don't want to burn it through the line.
Yep.
Or cause a short.
There you go. Now you got plenty. Yeah. Cool.
And then sometimes, depending on where you're at, if you're on a hill or something, this might be a lot of weight and it'll pull the pigtail. You can just do this on the side that it's pulling it to.
Okay.
So
yep.
You can just make it opposite to hold it up.
Right. Well, that's awful simple. And you just made a corner post there to hang our first paddock division on, and we didn't need a post pounder or a heavy fiberglass rod or anything.
Nope. Just one wire, and then that'll keep them in.
And a pigtail.
And a pigtail.
And a pigtail. People ask us, well, Greg, what do you use the pigtails for? Folks, that's what we use them for. Is that setup right there. There's your pigtail, and Connor hooked it up there. It's hot, and you go up there to take that off. Oh, would you get the meter? Let's show people. I want to show people what kind of KV we have here. Check this out. Up in that corner, my goodness. 10 point. Oh my gosh, 11 kV. Folks, that's 11,000, right there in that corner. It's 11,100 volts. If you touch that, it'll make your hair stand up on the top of your head. It may even turn some gray hair.
Make you squeal, that's
It's going to make you squeal. Connor, you act like you're talking from experience.
I've been hit a couple times. It's not fun. No, not at anything above 6 really hurts.
It hurts bad, doesn't it?
But,
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I tell people, electric fence, it's not a physical fence, but it's a psychological fence. Mm-hmm. Cattle hit it one time at 10 kV. They're not coming back, are they?
Not for a long time.
Yep. How many times have we went out and we have found 0 voltage on our fence and the cows are still right where we put them?
A decent amount.
It happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. In real life, there's just things that happen. But the reason our fence is so hot here, folks, is we were kind of signed an agreement with the neighbor over here that if I built the fence that she would supply the power source to plug in our charger. And it worked kind of for about 4 or 5, 6, 7 years. And here lately, she's hooking on to it. Her fence is just crap. Steel post, insulator, terrible insulators. And so every time we came over here, I'd check my fence because it's a border fence. We wouldn't have any voltage on it. And finally I said, you know what, I'm done. So we set a meter. It's back here in the pasture, and we put our own charger on it. But when we did, Isaac, Ben, and Connor and I, we went around this whole farm with weed eaters and chainsaw. And we took out all the brush. And what was our KV before we did that?
I think it was like 3.2.
And then it immediately went up to what?
10.8.
10.8, yeah. So folks, vegetative load, it can gang up on you. And we hadn't cleared that fence row for probably 10 or 12 years. And we just took an afternoon, we did it. Well, actually it was in the morning. We were done in probably...
We did it before lunch.
Like 3 hours, we had it done. And so we've never looked back either. We've got a good perimeter fence, super hot now. We took the brush off of it. We've got control of our power source now. We don't have to worry about the neighbor, doing things to our fencing anymore. And the animals are, when they come on here and they touch that, wow, they're going to remember it for a long time. Yeah. So
it hurts a lot more because they don't have rubber boots on.
Yep. So Connor, would you explain our grazing strategy right here? We're at the end of August. What is today? August 23rd?
It's August 24th.
24th. What are we doing? I mean, that's a lot of area for one paddock. What are we doing?
So we've been speeding them up. So once we got to the Judy farm, we've been making their paddocks a lot bigger because August is stockpile season. So we're trying to leave enough residual so that when the cool weather starts coming, we can get some more regrowth and grow a lot of stockpile. That way we don't have to feed as much hay this winter. And so usually we split this side right here into 4, like this whole section into 4 paddocks, and we decided to go 3 this time, just to give them a bigger area. They won't hit it as hard. They won't graze it as low. So that way when we come back in the winter time, we'll have a lot more grass.
Yeah. So we're leaving a larger solar panel behind us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
More litter on the ground.
Yep. More catchment of rain.
And even putting weight on for the winter too.
Yeah.
They've been gaining weight like crazy since we started.
It's crazy how the weight is packed on the calves.
Yeah.
And the reason is the cows are milking good. You know, so it's a wonderful occupation to be able to take this worthless grass and see big, nice, fat calves being produced by slick-hided, oily-haired cows.
Yeah, they've grown quite a bit in the recent weeks.
Yeah. Well, you know, everybody talks about stockpiling, and you want to, oh, it's stockpile month. It's August. You know, you got to stockpile, and so you lock your cows down in one part of the farm, and you let the rest of your farm grow for, let's say, 90 days. Well, you can do that. And when you lock them down, of course, you're going to have to feed hay because you're going to run out of forage. And what happens with that procedure, and I used to do that, Connor, one of the problems I had was our cows would lose condition. They're used to grazing, and all of a sudden you got them on dry hay.
Right.
They're not very happy with you. They'll eat it and they'll survive, but they're losing weight going into winter.
Yeah.
What do you want to do going into winter? You don't want to be what?
you want to be as fat as you can be. You want to have.
That's right.
You want to have reserves.
That's right. So with this strategy, where we're stockpiling our entire farm. Don't look at your farm and go, oh, I'm gonna stockpile the back 50%. No, if you graze it correctly and don't graze it down too short, you can just graze the whole thing, going clear into winter stockpile mode in the fall. So. Yeah, we're cranking. We're giving them big areas and we're moving them. And I noticed the other thing on the flies. Have you noticed that moving them, we're leaving a lot of fly load behind us?
Yeah, we're making a lot bigger moves, and so the flies haven't been as thick.
Intense.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's big.
Yeah. Stresses them out.
Has it been hot here, Connor, the last couple of days?
It's been a little bit hot. It's definitely gonna be hot this week. You know, I think it's supposed to get up to at least 95 every day this week. So
I think Wednesday they're saying 99.
Yeah.
So that's why we're out here. Well, it's now 9 o'clock, and I begged Connor to let me make this video this morning. He's probably like, Greg, we could have had a paddock put in by this time. But we're making good progress. We walked a bull out yesterday morning and sold him. Brought a buddy with him. The buddy got to go back to the herd. And 2 steers on Saturday. Those went to the arbiter, and we'll be getting those ribeyes. We're going to be taste testing those ribeyes. And I'm going to end this by going, there's new folks to the channel. They're like, Ray, you mentioned the tire tank, but you didn't show it. So I'll be right back, Connor.
All right.
I'm going to walk around here. I usually put my foot on that to push it down. And I got tennis shoes on, but they're wet. I'm not going to do it. No, I'll just step over it. I'll be real careful. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that is one hot fence. We normally don't give them the pond dam because it's been so wet. But now it's nice and dry. And we're going to give them this pond dam because look at this. There's a bunch of Indian grass up here. Look at that. That's all native warm season grasses. I don't know how that Indian grass got there. I guess it's in the seed bank. But you know what? We'll take it. We've got some really nice fishing in this pond. There's some huge bass in here. I was kind of surprised when we came in here and the cattails. We just fished this thing about 2 months ago. Well, it was Memorial Day. Connor and Isaac and I came over here and cleaned them up. Caught a nice mess, but most of these cattails were alive. And it seems like they go through a growth spurt and they get really thick and then they die off, and then you can see they're already coming back. But that's just kind of weird. It's almost like somebody sprayed them, but nobody did. We've got, well, here's the dam. So there's a pipe running through the dam. Ugh, I'm getting down without falling. The grass is so tall I can hardly walk through it. And I'm not going to lift that concrete block off there, but there's a shut off underneath there. It goes down 3 foot in the ground, and every time we leave the farm, we shut the valve off to our tire tank. And I mean, look at that water. It's just as clear as water you drink in your house. So that's a 800-gallon tank. About half of that tire is actually down below the geotextile and rock. I put one load of rock in here in 2003. Yep, 2003. It's been 17, 18 years ago. And it's still here. We've never added another layer. But the reason it's still here is we put these cedar trees and we pinned them with fiberglass rods. If you don't put that around your rock, it's gone. It'll be gone in 1 year. Now you're hauling another $500 load of rock. Well, when I put this rock in, folks, I tell you how bad inflation is. I paid $250 for 16 tons. Today, that same load of rock is going to cost you close to $500 delivered. So in 18 years, it's doubled inflation. It will eat you alive. So, you know, you got to make sure you have your money working for you. Don't leave it in the bank paying 0 interest, or, you know, you gotta have it working for you. And the best way to have it working for you is ruminant animals eating that and giving you a baby. You can outrun it. You can outrun inflation. Okay. So, yeah, it's not the best what's happening to our dollar with all this money that's being printed out of thin air. There's going to be repercussions. There already is. There's too much money chasing too few of goods to purchase. And so you get inflation. And we're going to have, I hope we don't have hyperinflation. That'll just wreck us. That'll wreck everybody. But I don't know. I don't think Zimbabwe, they tried printing their way out of their money crisis when Mugabe was in there, and they actually printed a quadzillion-dollar bill. Quadzillion-dollar bill. And my friend in Africa actually has one. And at the end of that thing, when it just went hyperinflation, you could have a wheelbarrow load of quadzillion-dollar bills, and you couldn't buy a loaf of bread with it. So I think we need to wake up. We don't need to be printing all this darn money out of thin air with nothing backing it up. Nothing. You know? So put your money in land, livestock, water improvements. You know, get on an area where you can supply your family with some food, and life will be good. Or, you know, you're going to be a little bit more control of your future if things do get kind of haywire. So anyway, I'm going to sign off with that. Everyone on the way out, if you would hit that subscribe button, I'd appreciate it. And we'll see you next time down the road. And the grazing school, I was going to give a plug for that, the one that we're having in Jackson, Mississippi. Go to our website. That's in October. It's a multi-species grazing school. And I will be teaching that solely by myself. It's a 2-day. And it's going to be in Jackson, Mississippi. So maybe I'll see some of you all there. Anyway, y'all have a good one. We'll see you down the road.